simply don't trust my government, especially this character, Biden, and I don't trust the Fed, I don't trust the banks, and I don't trust Wall Street. So it's pretty simple philosophy. In other words, what I say, every time I'm on your show, if you can print it, I don't want it. So if you can print the dollar, I don't want it. You can print a stock, I don't want it. I want something I can see, touch, and feel, or like our friend Jim Rickard says, what's real? Find out what's real. So as you know, I've been a gold bug since about 1971 when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And I'm becoming more fanatical, not less. And I literally have tons of gold and silver, tons, because I own gold mines. I graduated from school in New York in 1969, and I had a high-paying job. I'm an oil guy. So I sail for Standard Oil under oil tankers. So my background is oil. But I still joined the U.S. Marine Corps in 1969 to go fight in Vietnam. And Marines don't fight for Democrats or Republicans, liberals or conservatives. Marines fight for our freedoms. But when they took our freedoms away, that's when I went back to war. And that's why I'm willing to take the fire from the liberal academic left. And I'm afraid, I'm just concerned about our country and the world, especially this guy Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and what the hell are they doing? Why aren't we fighting back? So that's why I said I had more to lose than to gain by writing the book. By reading this book in 1965, I realized, I hate to say this, but most academics are Marxists. And my poor dad was a Marxist. The abolition of private property, a heavier progressive income tax is essential for the proper development of communism. And Biden just appointed 87,000 new IRS agents to go after small business owners. So we're becoming a fascist totalitarian state. But and most people think, well, paying taxes is, you're supposed to do it. If you look at history, the facts are America was founded as a tax revolt. 1773, I believe, Boston Tea Party. It was a tax revolt. We're not a slave nation. To say we're a systemically racist country is the biggest lie possible. There are races, granted, but we're not systemically racist. And that's why I fight now. And that's why I said I better say something. Because I went to military school, I fought in Vietnam twice, and I fight for freedom, and they're taking our freedoms away. Marx said, this is 1848, it's only about 50 pages. It's not the most, but it's a great read. He said communism would come in two phases. And the first phase was 1930, so this is 1848. He said communism would come in two phases. So 1930, the Berlin school sent teachers to Columbia University to teach the Columbia University teachers program. And that's when communism entered America as socialism. And I was in school in New York in the 60s, and that's when the first rioting broke out at Columbia University, which spread across the country. And then the second phase happened, in my opinion, in 2020, when social media shut down the President of the United States. And that's the loss of our freedom of speech there. And COVID, which was Klaus Schwab, how can they censor doctors? How can you get fired for speaking out against COVID? I just don't understand our loss of freedoms, and we say nothing about it. So my point of view is communism entered America via our school system. We're talking before we went on, there's this guy named Andy Scheckman. I never heard of him before. And he took my paranoia to a whole nother level. If you're not a gold bug by the time you listen, I've listened to him 3 times now. I'm on my 4th time going through his hour talk. But if you're not a gold bug by then, you'll never will be, because gold is money. And he talks about how the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, just elevated gold to tier 1. Gold used to be tier 3. That just happened. So tier 1 means gold is money. What was happening before this was the US Treasury bills, bonds, were money. And so gold just got promoted to tier 1, which Harry Dent and I get into it all the time. because he's a smart dude, but he wants everybody to buy treasuries. And this guy, Andy Schectman, if he doesn't make you drink the Kool-Aid for gold, nobody will. I mean, he is so frightening what he says. So my long way of saying it's getting worse. And this guy Schectman has the data to back it up. Andy Schectman talks a lot about that. He talks about the BRICS. You know, the BRICS nations are Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And he talks about how the Belt and Road project now is going to affect 90% of the world's population, and they'll all be on the CBDC yuan. They'll be going into Chinese crypto, not American. So the US dollar, according to this guy Andy Schectman, is toast. And that's why it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're going to take over the world with their own gold standard. As you know, I've been a gold bug since 1972. I was a Marine pilot in Vietnam, and I flew behind enemy lines to look for gold. And today I literally own tons of gold and silver. And so this guy Andy Schectman's talking about how the family offices and Commonwealth, everybody's buying gold and silver right now because they know the dollar's toast. I don't care about what the price is. All I care about is how many ounces. And I'm happy to say I now own tons because I'm a gold miner and a silver miner. And I own physical gold and silver. I know no ETFs. My rule of thumb, as you know, if you can print it, I don't want it. So what am I investing in today? Gold, silver, oil. I own the oil in the ground. I own Japanese breeding bulls, Wagyu cattle. And so I don't sell the cattle, I sell the semen. Well, because it goes back to that story I tell. I'm a Marine pilot flying off a carrier off the South China Sea. And I find out gold, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. I said, what does that mean? So I flew behind enemy lines because the NVA had overrun the mine. So I flew, proving Marines aren't the brightest guys on earth. And I try and buy gold at a discount. So I knew it was $35 an ounce. And the day I went looking for gold, it was $50 an ounce. And I was trying to get the little Vietnamese woman with red teeth. I still remember her. I was trying to get a discount. I want a discount. She goes, spot. I said, discount. She goes, spot. I said, what the hell is she talking about? She was one of my best teachers on gold I ever met. And ever since then, Danielle, I drank the Kool-Aid on gold and silver. We bought a gold mine in Utah. I made the mistake of starting a gold mine in China. I took it public on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and the Chinese took it. So I stopped eating Chinese food after that. But anyway, they nationalized the damn mine. This is my latest mine here. It's called the Trixie Mine, and the call sign is ODV. But let me read the ounces per ton. This piece here is 671 ounces per ton. My gold mine in China was 20 ounces per ton. This is 671 ounces. It's the richest gold mine possibly in the world, but in America. It's 140 years old, and it sat there. Nobody looked at it because it was 140 years old. And this enterprising guy named Marin Katusa out of Vancouver, he said, let me look at this. So he went into the gold mine. It's a long story to say. He looked at the records, 140 years of all these little miners, with the burros and all this stuff, digging around in this place in Utah. He took all their records and digitalized it. And once he digitalized it, he looked at it, he put it into kind of pictures, and he says, oh my God, those guys 140 years ago missed the vein. Without technology, he would never have seen it. So he went in there and he went left like 20 feet. And that's why it's 671 ounces per ton. The richest gold mine in America. Now, don't believe a word I say because I'm a pitch man, but it's ODV, check it out. But there's more opportunity than ever before. I keep saying the same thing. Put yourself on the gold standard. Don't wait for the federal government to go back on the gold standard. Start buying some gold and silver coins and keep it in a safe and don't tell anybody you have it. But put yourself on your own gold and silver standard. I started small, And now I literally own tons of gold and silver, but I went into the mining industry.